advertisements get in the way of the truth. And there's been a lot of interesting advertisement. A lot of it's not true, as you know, but we need to cut through that and go to the people directly. That's why the phone banking you're doing, the personal outreach is critically important. This is a very, obviously not only an important election, the most important election in our lifetime. We need to make sure New Hampshire goes for Mitt Romney on Tuesday and goes all the way up and down the ballot for those people who stand for freedom and liberty, for free enterprise, and really focusing on jump-starting our economy. You know, we're still 30,000 jobs short of where we were at the time of the Great Recession. Think about that. 30,000 jobs have left our state and have not come back. And that's in large part because of the failed policies of the prior legislature, led by my opponent, Maggie Hassan. Just so you get a few numbers that might be helpful in the final case statement that you make to people who may not be decided. Now, when she was a state senator, you've seen some advertisement where she takes credit for the budget of 2009. She said she balanced the budget without raising spending or actually lowering spending. Well, that's only because of accounting gimmicks. That's what PolitiFact says. In her 4 years in the state legislature as a majority leader, she supported 99 tax and fee increases. So that 99 is the first number. 24 is the second number you should think of. 24% spending over 4 years. And from the 2007 budget to the 2009 budget, we went from essentially 10.3 to 11.5 billion dollars. That in Washington is only in Washington would that be called a spending reduction. Total state spending went up by a lot in those 2 years when she was responsible for the state budget. Third number is 43%. That's the increase in the state debt that was incurred under her leadership. And then, of course, we've had zero job growth to speak of. And an $800 million budget deficit, structural deficit that was left in that budget that this past legislature had to deal with. Thank you, Steve, for doing that, and those of you who are in the legislature working with our legislative leaders, bringing fiscal responsibility. That budget also took $120 million out of a private organization called the JUA, Medical Malpractice Insurance Fund. That budget imposed an income tax on small business called the LLC tax, and she was a sponsor of that. Whenever there was a tax increase, she was supporting it. We are people who believe we should live within our means. And let's help this man with his chair.
It's all right, I'm insured.
And a self-help candidate. And she supported tax increases. I'm pledging to the people of New Hampshire we're going to balance our state budget without raising taxes, period. We're going to make sure that we don't even have an opportunity for people to push forward with a broad-based sales or income tax. And by the way, when she first started running for governor, she was for an income tax. Don't let people forget that. And she opposes the constitutional amendment that we have on question 1, which is to enshrine the opposition against an income tax in our Constitution. Now, my agenda is called the Prosperity Agenda. Let the people know to visit our website at ovide2012.com. There they'll see a very comprehensive agenda for reforming our state government, lowering business taxes, engaging in regulatory reform, as well as looking at how do we deliver education and health care the New Hampshire way, through a New Hampshire-based solution that will work better for our citizens and our businesses. Our plan stands in stark contrast to that plan that my opponent has on her website, and the people should look at that on the merits. In the end, the truth is going to set us free, and there is nothing so powerful as truth, as Daniel Webster said in 1830. So we need to talk to the people about what is happening in our state. Overregulation, out of control government growth has been a problem in New Hampshire, and we need to have a pro-growth, pro-business governor. Now, something very interesting and very positive happened to me on Friday. The Conway Daily Sun endorsed me after they have endorsed Barack Obama and Carol Shea Porter. They endorsed Ovide for governor. And I share that with you because do not assume that when you meet Democrats, independents, others who don't identify party affiliation, that they're not going to be with us. They may actually be, you may be calling through and find that somebody's voting for Barack Obama. Don't give up on them. Because as the Conway Daily Sun said, when it comes to the governor's office, it's a management position. It's a leadership position, and they'd rather have a pro-business governor than a pro-tax governor. And that's what they came down to. Very simple analysis after everything is said and done. And I think when people go to vote on November 6th, that's how they're going to vote. They're going to vote for economic issues, pocketbook issues in part. They're going to vote for the candidate who believes in them and our businesses and institutions in our state, and who views government as playing a supporting role, not a controlling role. Now, in her time in the state Senate, you should know that a lot of people don't like Obamacare. Well, if you didn't like Obamacare, you'll like Maggie Care a lot less than that. She sponsored legislation to have an agency created in our state government that would set price controls over hospitals. It would actually dominate the healthcare system. Would assess a $10 million tax on our hospitals to fund it. But that's not the New Hampshire way. The New Hampshire way is to work with our delivery system and to do it the right way. So I ask you in the next 6 days to make the effort every day, reach out to somebody new with whom you haven't spoken. Reach out to your friends and neighbors, family members. Don't assume that their mind's made up or that they understand or that they really decided who to go with. Ask them. Engage in the conversation. I called a friend of mine the other day, a woman who was my parents' age, who I know is very liberal. But I called her nonetheless, and I said, when we use her name, I said, I'd like to earn your support on Tuesday. She said, oh, Ovid, I don't agree with you on a lot of things. I said, I know you don't, but think about it. Who would you rather have in the governor's office? She called me back after a couple of days, called me last night. She said, Ovid, I've been thinking about it. I'm still going to vote for Barack Obama. I'm still going to vote for the Democratic ticket, but I'm voting for you for governor. Because I know your person and character, I know your strength and character too. And she said, I know you'll do the right thing. And I said, thank you for that. She said, I'll hold my nose in some of those issues. I said, well, some of those issues you'll hold your nose about aren't central to this election campaign and this campaign at all. And so I think there's really opportunity here in the last few days to cut through the red tape, cut through the static, cut through the bureaucracy of a campaign and get to the people and meet them where they are. So I thank you for what you're doing and do it for the whole ticket. We need a state Senate that has the right perspective, led by Republicans. A House that continues to be led by Republicans too. Of course, an executive council that has Republicans working with me. So we can bring true reforms as New Hampshire.